here with Levon for Chargers Central, where we break down the latest in Charger news and everything Chargers. How's it going, Levon?
It's going good. Closer to the season. I'm hyped. How are you
Yeah.
doing?
Oh, so excited, man! Only a couple more days till Brazil, till we take on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, the 53-man roster, the one that stings the most, Rocket Sanders, since he got claimed by Cleveland, since they don't know what they're doing with running back. um, yeah, how do you feel about that?
I'm surprised. I get keeping Haskins. You need a blocker. I fully understand that. And he's a Harbaugh guy. So I'm not surprised that he wasn't cut. But, I mean, they shaved that RB room so much. Like Vidal and Sanders, I was so surprised seeing both of them cut. I think Vidal's back on the practice squad.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was surprising. Because you're really running Hampton, Najee, and Haskins as your three RBs. I would have thought that they would have put Haskins on the special teams and have Sanders as the RB3. But he has an opportunity in Cleveland because I don't know what's going on with that RB room right now. But yeah, it sucks to see him go because I thought he had true potential.
Yeah, I saw some really explosive plays from him, especially in training camp. He has that burst that you want to see out of a back that I only really see out of Omari and Hampton for us. I can see he has a similar skill set as Hampton, Najee, and Haskins, so it's kind of having the same thing. And you do have Vidal on the practice squad. You have Hines on the practice squad. I think the thinking was that they would be able to sneak him back onto the practice squad. They didn't anticipate the Browns picking him up because teams rarely pick up running backs off the waiver. But Browns being the Browns, they did it. And who knows when they finally get Junkins back? Maybe they cut Sanders again. You know.
Yeah, I mean they don't have much space there once if Judkins plays. They already have Jerome Ford still there, so that's three that they have, not including Sanders. So I could see them cutting him. Do the Chargers bring him back is a question. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw him as a future piece. You know, Najee Harris is on a 1-year deal. And I think the thing that really hurt him is he doesn't play special teams. You know, that's what kept Haskins around. If you're on the back half of the roster, you really have to play special teams.
Special teams, and I think utilizing yourself as a blocker. And I didn't see that from Vidal last year. And Sanders' size, I don't know if he has what it takes to block. So in a Harbaugh system, you know, he looks for those types of things too. So yeah, it was surprising though, because I would have thought that they would have moved Haskins to special teams, and then signed or kept Sanders as the RB3. But yeah, I wish him the best.
Yeah, me too. And I think that's a good sign for Najee Harris because he's been back practicing. So, with Najee and with Omari, and these are two guys who have never missed a game, which is crazy to say for running backs. So, I guess they figure these two guys are going to be, durable like they have been. And that's what they're counting on with only 3 running backs on the roster.
Yeah, that's the surprising thing, the 3 running backs. But, knowing Chargers' history of injuries, I hope that remains the case for Hampton and Najee to not miss a game. It sounds like he's going to play on Friday, and you got to run the ball against this type of team, against the Chiefs, because you want Mahomes off the field as much as possible. So we'll talk about this later on too about the preview, but I expect them to run the ball a lot.
Yeah, I do too, and I'm not sure what kind of role Najee's going to have right away since he's missed so much. Maybe he only gets a few carries. I'm not sure what the game plan is yet, but I'd expect Omarion to carry the load.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if people are hesitating to start him week 1 because Harris is playing, start him. There should be no hesitancy in starting Hampton.
Yeah, and I got some interesting nuggets from I was watching a Chiefs podcast about this coming game. Do we want to get into the Chiefs preview already, or should we? Okay. Yeah, so I was watching this Chiefs podcast. Boring, man. It's so boring. But they had some interesting things to say. They said they're really weak in the middle, defensive tackle, nose tackle. Uh, they only have an old vet who can't play a bunch of snaps. They thought they were going to upgrade that position, and they didn't. So you can really attack the middle of the field, especially running the ball. So that's what I expect to see. Yeah, Chris Jones is always a game wrecker. He's the one you have to watch out for. He's the one we have to slide an extra tight end, slide Matt Scott Matlock over there to help block. I'm sure he'll be on the right side, over with Trey. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest concern for me is Chris Jones, because defensively they're not that great. They weren't that great last year either. I think obviously Rashee Rice not playing week 1 is huge for the Chargers. I mean, he's just a target hog and was Mahomes' go-to before he got injured last season. So him not being out there is huge because now you can hone in on Xavier Worthy. I think also one thing that people don't talk about this Chiefs team this year is Isaiah Pacheco. Last year, to start the season, he was heavily involved. I'm expecting more of the same from him. They still have Kareem Hunt. I don't think he'll be that much involved. They also have a rookie running back who I think will see more touches than Hunt later on in the season too. But Pacheco is a guy to watch out for because he could get going, and you don't want that to happen. So the D line for us has to step up. The interior O line for us has to step up. And Pipkins, this is his time to prove himself. This is the game because week 2 we're already facing Max Crosby. So right now is the time for Pipkins to prove himself to the staff because they have some right tackles that they can use if Pipkins doesn't, meet expectations. And I know they traded for an interior O-lineman from the Texans. So hopefully, he could step right in and help that O-line too. But all hands on deck with us later.
Yeah, that's the toughest part without Slater. And I agree with you. Pacheco is going to be huge for this game. He's further removed from the injury that he had. He broke his leg, I believe, last year.
Some type of injury like that, yeah.
Yeah, and he tried to come back, and he wasn't the same. And you'd think the extra time, you'd think he's closer to his normal self now.
Yeah.
And they're really going to want to run the ball, especially without Rice. And they do, they have Hollywood Brown. They brought back Juju Smith-Schuster. They do have some guys there. But yeah, you don't want this kind of close game that they want where the referees could get involved,
Yeah, that's always a concern with the Chiefs. Xavier Worthy, he's burned us in the past. I believe that game was at SoFi. We can't afford to see that happen again.
That was Fulton covering him for that long touchdown, who's now on the Chiefs. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, good luck to him. I don't know which receiver he's going to cover, whether it's Keenan or Ladd, but good luck. So in terms of like the defense, I think we're solid. I think we're really solid. And Jesse Minter now has a year under his belt with this defense with most of these players. So I think we're solid there. We brought most of these guys back from last year. Troy Dye looked better this year during the preseason than he did last year. He's kind of gaining more confidence, which is what we needed from him. The only question mark I would say on this defense is Thule.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect from him, but I really hope he plays the way he did in his rookie year, because he could be a wrecking, he could be a one-man wrecking crew. And we already have that in Mac. So imagine the second one. We need him to step up.
Yeah. Thule is the X factor here. He had 8.5 sacks last season, but 6 of them came in a 3-game stretch, I believe.
Yeah.
So the big thing here is he's not going to be on special teams. He played something crazy like 270 special team snaps last year. So you really hope, with all that extra rest without the special teams, that he's going to be able to rush the passer and lead the team in sacks. That's what we need from him, and to be a force down there and show that, after Mac's gone, who knows, this could be Mac's last year.
Yeah.
We're going to need Thule to step up, and then we're going to need someone else to step up on the other side. So hopefully Caleb Murphy as the 4th edge rusher, hopefully he can provide something. We know Bud Dupree is still there. This could be his last year too. So yeah, that edge room really needs to pressure Mahomes, like we saw in the Super Bowl with the Eagles, just crushed Mahomes. And you do that, and you can make him the worst QB in the world. What did he have? That first half was so ugly from him. That, and I think they still have question marks for some of the Chiefs linemen. Especially the one who's always jumping off sides all the time.
Yeah. Their interior is pretty strong, but the exterior isn't that strong. Like, that's Thule's side too. So we have to see him attack early. The middle linebacker, that's probably my favorite position on this team, because all 3 I just have a lot of faith in. 4, including Marlo Wax. I think that's a great crew. Perriman, Henley, Dye, and Max, and Marlo Wax. These guys are young, minus Perriman, but Perriman brings expertise, a veteran, a leadership, and they're hungry. And that is what I think this team was missing for, especially under Staley, for years. So opportunity is there for these guys. They have to take it. Corners are great. I think we got better than last year. Like you said, Fulton. I mean, he started off well, but then I don't know what happened. But getting Jackson, I think, was big from the Steelers. And, let's see who covers Worthy Friday. Really interesting. But Derwin always finds a way to stop Kelsey. And then Kelsey just at the end always shows up. But I think Henley will have a better hold on him this time around. So I don't think Kelsey will be as big of a factor. But truly, I think Pacheco is the guy to watch out for on that offense. And what's his name? They had a rookie wide receiver. I forgot his name. But
Thornton. I think Thornton is the...
No, not Thornton. Not Thornton. It was Royals, I think. Something Royals. He's a rookie. Thornton used to play for the Pats, I think. But I forgot about him. Yeah, he was a late addition to this offense. So, you just don't know with Mahomes. I mean, he can turn these guys into, elite wide receivers out of the blue. So you got to always watch out for them. And Andy Reid knows what he's doing. He knows who he's surrounding Mahomes with. So, yeah, Thornton may not have been good with the Pats, but he'll be good with the Chiefs now.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Philip Rivers, because when Rivers, you had all these random kind of receivers, but he was getting everyone involved. So you have to always have your eyes out and open, but Worthy is the guy to watch out for on that receiving core, and then stop the run.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard Thornton was a 4-3 guy too, so he's another guy who just speed. You got to watch out for
Yeah,
the speed.
yeah.
Um,
That's the tricky part with this team is the speed because everyone on that team has speed.
yeah,
Um, but without Rice, this is first of all, this is a winnable game.
yeah,
Secondly, yes, what the calls are the calls. I mean, the refs, we can't control that, right? But I think they're going to be watching a lot of tape from how the Eagles performed in the Super Bowl. They're going to try and replicate as much as possible. And I'm pretty confident with this defense. It's more so the offense in a sense of Greg Roman. And what I mean by that is he going to let Herbert be Herbert? I think a lot of fans don't know, and I think a lot of fans are concerned about that because now you have, again, like this is his best supporting cast. You have Keenan, you have Ladd, you have basically his two favorite wide receivers in his NFL career, short NFL career, but still two of his favorite receivers, targets on the same team now. You got to utilize that. So it'll be also interesting. How do they, integrate Keenan into this offense? Is he going to start? Is it going to be QJ if he plays? How, how is that going to work? And when he's on the field, Keenan with Ladd, what are their roles? Is Ladd going to be the outside? Is Keenan going to be the slot? I think Ladd will be the Z role. True, just my personal opinion, but he can play anywhere.
yeah,
Kind of same with Keenan, but Keenan's older now, so he's got to be more in the slot. He's got to get those short yardages here and there. But I think both of them will be effective. And I've seen a lot of videos of people saying, Keenan's a great late round pick, this and that. I fully agree. He's not a late round pick anymore. This guy's going in in early hundreds. So take him with confidence. But just week one, I don't know fantasy wise what to expect from these guys. I would start Hampton for sure. I would start Ladd. If it's a deeper league, I would start Keenan. And as for Herbert, I want to say start him. Depends on what options you have. If if it was a more friendly OC like a Kellen Moore, which man, this type of team around Herbert, this would have been perfect for Kellen Moore. But because of the OC, I don't know whether they should start Herbert or not. I personally am, but I'm also a diehard Chargers fan, so I can't not, you know.
yeah.
So, but those other guys, I would say start.
Yeah, I think the X factor for Herbert is going to be if he runs this year, and it seemed like he was going to last year before he got injured. Um, so, and we know that's something Greg Roman likes out of his quarterbacks, and to help keep the defense honest, you know. So
Hmm.
if Herbert is, you know, throwing in a few runs every game, he'll be fantasy relevant again.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, those last 3 weeks, let's not forget, like he really upped his game, and that's because Greg Roman allowed him to.
Yeah,
So I hope that continues. I'm not saying he's gonna have the whole season and perform the way he did those last 3 weeks, but what I am saying is Roman allowed Herbert to be in his zone those last 3 weeks. And last year, we were talking about, okay, we're gonna run the ball a lot. Uh, Gus Edwards, I don't know how he's gonna do, but he didn't do well, obviously. Um, he still hasn't signed with the team. But this year, it's gonna be the same. We're gonna run the ball a lot. And I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying if it's 14-0 and the second quarter, don't force the run. And I think that's what fans are kind of irritated about when it comes to Roman. But then again, this guy's been in this business for how many years now, and he hasn't changed the way he coaches and the way he
yeah.
plays, he calls plays. So I don't know.
Well, I think we did, like those last three games, like you said, I think he did open it up more for Herbert when he saw, the running game wasn't working. He's like, we have to do this, and now we have so many more weapons to
Yeah,
do that.
and not just receivers, tight ends too. Like you
Yeah,
mentioned, Conklin during the training camp, he's
yeah,
been solid, and not
yeah,
to mention Gadsden. Like this guy's going to be really good in the future. And this year, let's see what opportunity he gets this year. But especially in the future, this guy's our tight end one.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. But yeah.
And you can use Omari in the pass game too. People forget that, and some people like to say we're not going to use him at all because Greg Roman doesn't do that. But
Yeah.
this guy, we missed that factor we've talked about, like when Eckler left.
Mhm.
If we can do that with Omari and he's running the ball well too, this can be huge for our offense.
Yeah. I mean, you want to see him as a pass catching back too. Because, as much as Haskins is a good blocker, I didn't see much from him running the ball as a pass catcher. So you got to utilize Hampton. And, if you're going to use Haskins, maybe as a fullback, he'll be more effective. Or you line him up in shotgun with Hampton and Haskins on both sides of Herbert, and you do a pass play like that uh, for Hampton. But you got to utilize him in the pass game. You have to max out his ability, because Najee, he's more of a one-dimensional type of player. Short yardage, goal line touches, that type of player. He's never known for his burst, his speed, his explosiveness, but we don't need that because we have that in Hampton. I mean, I don't think people understand how good this guy's going to be. They've seen, a couple of runs here and there, but in those couple of runs, this guy was dragging defenses and not going down. So he's going to be very, very good. I think the only question is how much is Najee going to be involved in this offense? Like how many touches is he going to get this year? And that's the question on people's minds, I think. And I think if he kind of falters or if he gets hurt, hopefully not. What Greg Roman said a couple weeks ago, that the workhorse was ancient times. I think that comes back because it doesn't make sense to not make Hampton the workhorse if Najee gets hurt.
Yeah, I think early season, especially, Omarian's gonna have a larger share of that backfield, just because Najee hasn't been there to practice. You can't really count on him yet, but I would love for him to have that role that we talked about with Gus last year, where you wear the other team's defense down, and we saw Najee do this with the Steelers against the Chargers, and they won that game. So we would love to see Najee, get his 4 yards like he always gets, and just punish the other team, and then you mix in Omarian in there too with an explosive run. And you can really have something there. I think that's what they're thinking, at least what Greg Roman is thinking. And I hope it works. We don't want to see another, thing like we had with Gus last year and JK getting hurt. And we really need this run game to work like it can. And then the play action becomes so much more effective. And then you got KLS going down the field. You got Trey Harris down the field. You have these weapons you didn't have before that can really make this explosive if they need it to be. So
yeah, I mean, hey, 4 yards is better than 1 or 2, and that's what we got out of Edwards last year. I think without question, Najee will be better than Edwards. Let me ask you this. I think this is also a question that fans are wondering, not just Charger fans, but fantasy community fans. Who do you think starts off the first drive for the Chargers, Najee or Hampton?
I think it's Hampton, just because the way training camp has gone.
Yeah.
If Najee was there the whole camp, I would say it was Najee, but Hampton, they have trust in Hampton. They've seen him do it all camp.
Yeah, I agree. I think I had posted a video on TikTok which got like 90 something thousand views, which is crazy to me. It was just Najee Harris practicing, like one carry, literally.
Yeah.
But everyone's panicking that, some are arguing this is Hampton's team. Some are saying Najee's going to take over. But yeah, because he's practicing, I think people are kind of confused now on what to do.
Mhm.
I think too that Hampton starts, and Najee will see carries that first week for sure. I mean, that's a given,
Yeah.
but I don't think he'll see more than 10. I think 10 carries will be his max that first week. Hampton, I could see a little bit more, like 12 to 14. And it also depends on how the game's going, right? Like if they jump off to a lead, the Chiefs, you have to throw the ball.
Yeah.
If we jump off to a lead, then we're going to rely on Najee more than 10 carries. So it also depends on that. But if the game's going, let's say, just steady, back and forth, I could see max 10, maybe 12, but not more than that first week. Because, like you said, he just wasn't present during training camp for obvious reasons. But recently he's been practicing, and I think that's kind of what the fans are uh, anxious about. So this is like one of the games where it's like people are going to tune in just to see how that plays out. You know?
Yeah. And I saw a crazy stat the other day that Najee over his 4 years has more yards than Christian McCaffrey or something like that because he hasn't missed a game and he's gotten a
Right.
thousand yards every season, you know.
Yeah,
Uh, so you know he's dependable. Yeah,
definitely dependable. Definitely dependable. I just don't see him getting 15 to 20 touches.
yeah,
That's going to be the difference. Um,
I agree.
because in the past, what was his competition? Like Jalen Warren, who was a
Yeah,
pass catching back, not a
yeah,
running back per se. So, and that Steelers game haunts me because it's like we were so close and he just wore us out. And then I'll never forget it. Like Justin Fields hits Calvin Austin for the touchdown. It was a slant, and he took that like 60 yards. We could do that easily with Lad, with Trey, with KLS. We have so many guys we can do that with. So fully agree with you there because I think if we, hold Mahomes on the sidelines, that gives us a higher chance to win.
yeah,
And it's not because Mahomes is such a great quarterback. I think he's on the decline, as we saw last year too. It's more so fourth quarter, 2 minutes, right? He goes deep. They're gonna call something down there, and that's my fear. So keeping him off the field, I think, is the key. Also stopping that run. I expect the workload for Pacheco um, on Friday. I could see him getting 12 to 14 touches easily on Friday. So you got to stop that. But it's going to be interesting offensively, also not just the running game, but the passing game, in terms of who I think Lad is going to be that wide receiver one without a doubt.
yeah.
Um, I think my question mark is what kind of role will Keenan Allen have first week? Um,
Let me tell you what I saw in camp. You know, he came late in camp, of course, but he was the third receiver after QJ, and he mixed in, and he looked like old Keenan. You know, whenever you need a first down, he's there. You know, and
yeah,
he's looking quick, he's looking good, and I think he'll get a few catches, and he'll be relevant. Um, yeah, I think my bigger question mark is what is QJ going to do? Because we know his talent, we know the fans get on him if he has a drop. You know, we've said that this is a make or break year for QJ. You know, is he going to step up? Is he, he's going to have more opportunities with other teams focusing on Ladd and Keenan and the other wide receivers. He's going to be open,
yeah,
and if he can just catch the ball, he can get downfield. He can make guys miss. He's got the speed, the burst. You know, we just got to hope he puts it all together. And we
yeah,
know some Charger fans are going to be rooting for him to fail, which is crazy, But yeah,
yeah. Um, I think he will play week one, QJ. I just don't know what kind of role he'll have. It won't be an every down role. Um, And I don't know. I could see Keenan taking over that wide receiver 2 role pretty quickly. Um, it's what's going to interest me the most is that first drive that they had with Herbert in the preseason. It was a 17-yard catch by Ladd, and Keenan wasn't targeted. But then again, that's one drive in this preseason. So I think getting a familiar face like that back for Herbert is huge. I'm also a big Keenan Allen fan. Like, he's probably my favorite receiver outside of Ladd. So having them both on the team is, I'm very happy about that. But looking back at Herbert's career, he had Keenan and Mike Will. He was playing very well with having two legitimate wide receivers. Last year, I can't really say he had two legitimate wide receivers. He had Ladd, and that was pretty much it. This year, again, he has two legitimate wide receivers. So, he doesn't have as much talent as, let's say, Joe Burrow, but it seems like he has more pressure than Burrow. And I think this year, if, again, big if, is Greg Roman, he allows him to be himself, he's going to have a big year. Is he going to win MVP? Probably not, because, again, just quarterbacks under Roman historically, we know that. But we are going to face tough competition this year. A lot of tough teams and a lot of good quarterbacks, especially those games at home. So we're going to need him to step in and 2-minute offense, drive that team down and get a field goal or get a touchdown, win the game. And I think this is his year to prove it, that he has what it takes to will this team to wins. Most importantly, a playoff win, but just in general, will this team for wins? Because now the argument is, last year we had an easy schedule. This year you can't make that argument. So it's going to be very interesting how they utilize, how they allow Herbert to play. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I agree. And so let's get into our prediction for this game, and then we'll talk about what we think for the season. But what do you think, dude? Do we win or lose this game?
Man, it's very unpredictable what's going to happen this game. I think we're at plus 144 to win. Good bet to make. Good bet to make, because plus 144, I think the Chiefs are like minus 170 something. The reason why I say it's a good bet to make is plus money, first of all. I think truly that it's going to be a close game until the very end, like it always is between the Chiefs and the Chargers. But the difference this year is going to be three things. Number one, we have a legitimate run game. I think we're going to run the ball a lot. And games like this is where you're supposed to run. You're going to run the ball a lot. Number two, I think defensively, they have all the pieces necessary. And we'll see, there were some question marks about the defensive tackles. We'll see how they perform. I think they'll do just fine. But defensively, we are so solid compared to last year. I mean, last year we were good. This year we're even better. And I think the reason why some are down this year on the defense is because the schedule is tougher, but even better, it'll make them better competitors. That's two. And three, because we got Keenan back, because we have Ladd, Herbert has two of his favorite third down targets. So on those third downs, and we may see a lot, we'll see, because we're going to run the ball a lot, I'm assuming. We may see a lot of third downs. More third and shorts, hopefully. But he has not one but two targets now on third. And in the past, that's killed us, not being able to convert on third downs, especially against teams like the Chiefs. So this year, I think that completely changes. We're going to convert more on third down, without a doubt, this season. But that first week with Keenan, with Ladd there, I think we convert on third downs more than before. So those three things is why I think we win. Skeptical because it's in Brazil, the field conditions, all of that. Yes. But also the refs, you don't know what to expect with them. but we can't bank on that one way or the other. You got to go out and you got to play your game like the Eagles did during the Super Bowl. So for those reasons, I think we win week one. It will be close though.
I agree. I see us squeaking out like a Dicker field goal at the end, something like 23-20, you
Yeah.
know. But yeah, I agree with you. And I really want to see, these deep threats for us just get a 40-yard reception or something
Mhm.
to put fear into them and other teams. KLS get a big reception because I
Yeah.
think he'll be the first rookie off the bench for them.
Mhm.
Um, even Trey Harris. Uh, but and I think the rookie defensive tackle Caldwell, Jamari Caldwell, I think he's going to be huge for us. We saw him getting pushed in the preseason. They're going to rotate defensive tackles. We have like 6 of them. We're going to
Yeah.
rotate in, keep them fresh. But if Caldwell can get that push and get pressure on Mahomes, huge. And I think that'll happen. And like you said, the run game. This is going to be Omari and Hampton's coming out party. I think he's gonna be special. He's gonna show the Chiefs, especially up the middle where they're weak. That he's hard to tackle, and that he has that burst that just that's special. That's gonna make him one of the very top running backs in this league. Um, so, you know, I think with all of that and Herbert using the play action and having all these weapons, you know, I I think, like you said, the only thing that can mess it up is Greg Roman. If he goes too conservative, if he goes to the run game and the run game isn't working, and he doesn't open it up to Herbert, I think that's the only way that we lose this game, really, because I think we
Yeah.
have more talent than the Chiefs, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, People forget, we had 11 wins last year, but this roster, people forget how bad this roster was and
Mhm.
how, people didn't even think we were going to get 8 wins
Yeah.
uh, because it was a lot of cast-offs from Tom Telesco. Uh, you know, he he top-loaded this roster, and we were left with a lot of guys, just scraps, guys other teams didn't want.
Yeah.
J.K. Dobbins, nobody wanted him, and you know he proved to be big for us. Fulton, Puna Ford.
Mhm.
Teams didn't want these guys, and we made them stars and got them big contracts because our coaching was so good. Now we have more talent on both sides of the ball at every position,
Yeah.
and we still have these amazing coaches to coach them up. So, you know, we're so close. It's just I wish we still had Slater, man. I'd feel so much better about this season if we still had Slater, but we're so
Yeah.
close to being that kind of Super Bowl team, you know. Uh,
Yeah. I think the biggest unfortunate part about Slater's injury is that this might be Mac and or Keenan's last season.
yeah,
I hope they play one more year because Mac wants that Super Bowl.
yeah,
Um, and there were some rumors in the offseason that he might go to the Packers. Them bringing Micah Parsons now in, I don't think that will happen now. But you always have to kind of be wary about that Mac may not be here next year. So you gotta perform. And I'm not saying go and win the Super Bowl this year. I'm saying at least win a playoff game. Show that effort that, yeah, maybe the next year this team can reach the Super Bowl. And I hope that they stay one more year because with Slater, I think this team is completely different. But hearing you talk about Hampton, it's like making me want to bet the over on the 80 plus yards from rushing because I truly see that happening. Even if he gets, well, I think he'll get more than 10 touches on Friday. I think more so 13 to 15 touches is more realistic for him. But if he sees 15 rushes, which I think is a bit much, but if he sees that, he'll easily get over 80 without a doubt.
yeah. I agree. I agree. So let's go to our season prediction. Um, yeah. Let's take a look at the odds here. Pull that up. All right. Where did that go? It looks like I lost that there. Sorry. So the odds were. What were the odds again?
Let me pull it up. Let's see. Share screen. Okay, right here. All right, so I don't know why it's showing me like this. Okay, so for this game in particular, it's a +-3 spread. Over under 45.5 points, and money line is in favor of the Chiefs -170. We're at +142. I like this. I like the +142 here. I think that gives us. I think that's a good place to take the bet. Yeah, I like that for us.
Yeah.
First TD scorer, Hampton is the one that's favored. Actually, favored for all of the above. So Hampton's favored to score the first touchdown, period. That's really interesting. So the market's betting that Hampton is going to see goal line touches over Najee.
Yeah, I could see that this game.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting. Okay, where's the season long prop? Let's see. Okay, right here. So, oh no, this is. That's weird. Okay, let's go back to NFL. And let's go to wins. I think that's the one. Yeah, this is it. Okay. So let's go to Chargers. Right here. Okay. So over on 8.5 this year is -190. So they're basically guaranteeing 9 wins for the season. Over 9.5, it's -105. Under is -115, pretty even. And then over 10.5 is +140. Under 10.5 is -170. So they are projecting more than 8.5 wins, less than 10.5. So 9 to 10 wins on the season. Should we pull up the schedule?
Yeah, let me pull that up here. All right, here we go. So week 2, Vegas. Should we just go game by game? What we think?
Yeah.
Okay. I have that as a win. So 2-0 for us. What do you say?
Yeah, that's a win. That defense is just too weak. I think we exploit that defense early.
Yeah, I agree. Broncos week 3. That's going to be a test.
Yeah.
But home opener, crowd's going to be pumped. We're going to be there. I think if we go 2-0, I think we pull out this game too in a close one. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely gonna be close. I'm like I said last year too. I'm a huge Bo Nix fan.
Yeah.
They added some weapons there, Evan Ingram and Pat Bryant, and then RB's Dobbins is there. So
Yeah.
it'll be tough this game, but because it's a home opener, crowd's gonna be electric. I think we win
Yeah.
week 3. It's gonna be close again, but I think we pull that out too.
Yeah. Giants week 4. That used to be a cakewalk. I think they'll be tougher this year. They have a good defense. They
Yeah,
have Russell Wilson. Let's ride until he gets benched for Dart. But I think we win this game too.
yeah. So do I. Hoping that Russell Wilson remains a starter by week 4.
Yeah.
If it's Jackson Dart, it'll be a closer game. But if it's Wilson, I don't think it's gonna be close. We got that win.
Yeah. Okay. Week 5. It is at home, but Commanders.
Yeah,
I could see that being our first loss there.
yeah. It's unfortunate to say, and the reason why I'll say this is a loss, we just in the past cannot contain mobile quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And if history has any influence in this game, I just don't see us stopping Jaden Daniels. Unfortunately, I hope I'm wrong. I hope that middle linebacker room steps up. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough beating this team.
Yeah. And they added Debo.
Yeah,
I wonder if I'm going to see Eckler's mom and wife in the same seats I always saw them at SoFi across from me.
yeah,
Hopefully, but it'll be a fun game.
yeah.
It should be a close game either way.
I think it'll be close for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So 4-1 so far.
4-1 so far. Dolphins week 6.
I can't wait for this, to be honest. Tua against Herbert, finally.
Yeah.
We put that debate to rest. Assuming Tua is still the starter and not Quinn Ewers.
Yeah. I mean, it just depends on health, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he could perform poorly too, and Quinn Ewers takes over. I'm really high on Quinn Ewers, but I don't know if he'll see playtime this year. But if Tua struggles, he might.
Yeah, and that backfield will be interesting. Is Achan still healthy by then? Is it
Mhm.
Gordon, Gordon's backfield by then?
Gordon, yeah, he's scary. He's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the win here.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, I don't think the defense has what it takes to stop this team.
Yeah.
And again, you're dealing with a two-headed monster here. We talk about Chase and Higgins, but Keenan and Ladd. I know Keenan's not in his prime, but still, it's going to be tough to contain those two at the same time.
It will. All right, we got the win for that. 5-1. Colts at home. Jonathan Taylor is tough to stop. They'll have Danny Dimes. Won't be good enough. I think we get the win there. Yeah.
I think we get the win. I'm a huge fan of Tyler Warren. I think he's going to be a great talent in this league. I think he'll be a top 5 tight end this year. I know I'm a little higher on him than most, but I just don't see them beating the Chargers. I think they'll win some games this year, but they'll struggle most weeks. And this will be one of the weeks. I just don't see them winning on the road.
I agree, and I think Tyler Warren's going to be great too. It'll be fun to watch. Okay, Minnesota Vikings on a short week, Thursday night football at home.
Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite games of the year. JJ McCarthy versus Herbert. Since last year, I was drafting McCarthy late in rounds in the best ball leagues, and then he gets hurt. So I'm looking forward to seeing him play this year. Better team around him too. Also the Jim Harbaugh, connection there in Michigan. So that's a little rivalry there going on. Thursday night, short week, but we're playing at home. It's a home kind of turnaround. I'm going to take us winning this. It's going to be very difficult to win this game with Jordan Addison back too by then. But man, I don't see us losing this game. I just don't.
I agree. You gotta, Harbaugh knows JJ McCarthy, his strengths and his weaknesses. So
better than anybody.
And Jesse Minter too. So
yeah.
I
That's
think
true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we pull that one out. It should be an exciting game. Justin Jefferson
Yeah.
always talks the smack. Yeah, let's get that win. At Tennessee, week 9, number 1 pick, Cam Ward.
Yeah.
They got
Rookie QB.
yeah,
Yeah, they're always like, you just don't know what to expect from them.
yeah,
But Pollard, Calvin Ridley, Tajay Spears will be back by then. Okonkwo, he should have a big year.
yeah.
They have a rookie tight end, Gunnar Helm. He's going to be very good in the future.
Okay.
But I don't know. I just don't see them beating this defense.
Yeah,
And I think this is a game that you run the ball a lot and succeed. This could be a Hampton game. So I'm going to take the Chargers winning this. I know we're going with Chargers wins on most of these, but like the Commanders, Broncos, and Vikings so far are the ones that are, up in the air.
yeah,
But I'm going to give them the wins except for the Commanders one for now.
yeah. And I'm there with you too. Uh,
Yeah.
I think we take advantage of the inexperience there with the Titans, even though they have some talent, like you mentioned. I think we pull out the win there.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Steelers at home, week 10. Aaron Rodgers, Trevor
This is a
hopefully.
this is a primetime game.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to this. I mean, this is probably Rodgers' last year, so
yeah,
seeing him in person is going to be big. Um, I don't think they have what it takes. They don't have enough.
yeah,
Um, this is Najee's old team. He wants their revenge.
yeah,
So I'm going to take the Chargers winning this, but it's going to be close. I think, it'll, because look, TJ Watt, he's still going to be a wrecker.
yeah,
And I'm still concerned about Pipkins. Like, that concern hasn't gone away because he moved to right tackle. I'm even more concerned, if anything, because now he has to face those types of defensive players. But I just don't think that the Steelers offense has enough.
yeah.
And they're also going to kind of be run heavy. So yeah, I think we take that game. It might be close, but we take that game.
I think so too. I think Najee will be the X factor there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we'll run all over them. Hopefully, like they did us last year at Jacksonville, week 11.
This is actually tough. If this was a home game, I'd say we take it. But in Jackson, it's just just the thing, the nightmares of playing in Jacksonville.
But hey, I think that's motivation. You
Yeah,
know, Harbaugh is going to use that as motivation.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
How many of those guys still are on this team? Derwin, Mack,
Well, yeah.
Herbert,
Herbert,
Keenan.
Keenan. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not many though.
Not too many.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna say a win here. I mean, Jacksonville will be better than last year for sure.
mhm,
I think it'll be very fun watching Travis Hunter on the defensive end,
yeah.
how he covers those star, receivers, including Ladd. Um, I got to take the Chargers. I just don't envision us losing to this team again. I, I just don't.
I agree. And Trevor Lawrence has been on a downswing. Ever since that
Yeah.
game, it's like his career has gone down in the toilet since then.
I
Unfortunately.
think the one player that's going to help him out a lot this year is going to be Brenton Strange. I think he will have a prominent role on this team,
Mhm.
and Brian Thomas Jr. will kind of open up lanes for him. So he's a player to watch out for. But of course, injuries also happen. So by week 11, I don't know who's going to be on the field. That's just unfortunate truth about football. But Strange, I think we'll have a big year. But it's not going to be enough to beat the Chargers week 11. I just don't see us losing again.
I agree. It'll be interesting to see. They have a three-headed backfield there who emerges
Yeah.
by that time.
I think it'll be Tootin for sure. I think he will be the RB1 by then, by week 11.
All right. Bye week 12. Finally, we
Yeah.
get a late bye instead of week 4.
Right.
Yeah.
Which will definitely benefit us in the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Yeah. That will. And then Vegas, baby, at home. Yeah.
At home,
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
will change. Their defense will still be bad.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Chargers to win that too.
Taking the Chargers. Chargers 2, week
Okay.
14. This is another loss, I think.
Yeah, this is
Eagles.
where these next two in Kansas City and the Eagles.
Yeah,
This is where I see the losses.
yeah,
Unfortunately, right? But
I agree.
okay, so the reason why I say that Monday night, it's a home game, right?
Yeah,
That crowd, unfortunately, will be at least 60% Eagles.
yeah,
They're just too big, and they just have too much firepower. Whether it's AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Saquon, obviously you have Jalen Hurts. That offensive line is solid. The defense is solid. It's just all around such a great team. Super Bowl champs, after all.
yeah.
I think as long as we put up a fight, I'll be happy with the result. Um, and yeah, I don't know if we can win that game. So I'm gonna say that's a loss.
I agree. And I was listening to the Chiefs podcast talk about this because week 2 they play the Eagles. And they're like that, Chargers and Eagles are very similar, except for the Eagles have star power at like all the positions, and the Chargers don't. You know, uh,
We're similar because of the play calling, or how are we similar?
we play zone defense. We're tough physical
I
teams.
see. I see.
We're both very good teams, but they say the Eagles just have more star power, and
Makes sense.
yeah, yeah, and Kansas City.
Yeah.
Seems like we always lose in Kansas City,
We
so yeah,
we
I'll
lose one,
say,
and it's like if we lose Friday, we'll win that week 15 match. If we win Friday, we'll lose that week 15 match. But I'm also saying a loss here because it's in Kansas City. It's a short week.
yeah,
Monday we fly out to Kansas City. Short week. I just don't see it. I think that's a loss too. So 3 total for now.
yeah,
Cowboys next in Dallas.
in
The
Dallas,
defense is so bad.
yeah,
But the thing is, with Pickens there now, Dak has a lot of help in terms of receiving. Running wise, I don't know what Jaden Blue is going to be like. Javonte Williams is not going to pan out the way that I think most Cowboys fans hope he will. But Pickens and Lamb are going to be a lot to deal with for defenses. Not to mention Jake Ferguson. So they got weapons offensively. I think this will be a kind of game where either Jesse Minter, finds a way to shut them out, or it's going to be a shootout. But I'm going to say the win here.
me too. Just because I think their defense is so weak, especially trading Micah away. I think the defense is going to be the difference here.
Yeah.
But I see it being a close game too. And then Texans revenge at home.
Yeah, I really want to say a win here.
Me too.
The thing is, before the season started, I was saying we'll get 11 this year. If I go with a win against Texans and a loss against the Broncos, that's 12.
Yeah. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. We're beating the Texans. We're losing to the Broncos.
Yeah, no, I think we beat the Texans. I don't see us losing to them, especially at home. That was just a miserable game, that playoff game. So I think we make up for it week 17. And this year we're just situated better. I think that if we see them again, which I hope we do in the playoffs, we will easily take care of business there because just a better supporting cast around Herbert. And now I think Harbaugh knows what Herbert needs around him to take care of business. And then in Denver, I think we lose that game, depending actually on the playoff scenario. I think over there because you never know. They may rest starters. We may rest starters. I think unbiasedly, I think we get 10 to 11 wins.
I agree.
Yeah.
Before the Slater injury, I would have said we get 12 this year, and I was the most optimistic. All the beat writers are saying we're getting 9 wins. We have this such a tough schedule. We can only get 9 wins. Forget that. We're a better team, man.
Yeah, 9 is too low.
That's too
9
low.
is too low.
I think it's 11.
Yeah, I think we beat the Raiders twice for sure. We lose
Yeah.
one against the Broncos, lose one against the Chiefs. The questionable games are the Vikings, Commanders. We said loss, but that's still going to be close. And then one of the Chargers. One of those
Yeah.
games, Titans, Giants. One of those games
Yeah.
is going to be closer than we expect.
Yeah.
But aside from those, I think we win the rest. And people saying, yeah, the Raiders got better offensively. Fully agree, but defensively it got worse. And Dante Thornton Jr., we've spoken about him before on this show. 6'5", and he's a behemoth. Like this guy, he will be special. Myers requesting a trade was kind of surprising, but they signed Amari Cooper already. They got Brock Bowers, Janty. They have weapons around Geno Smith. But defensively, they just don't have anybody except for Crosby. And that's not going to be enough to beat the Chargers. So the goal, obviously, is to win a playoff game. But I think if we can win the division, that goal becomes even higher or the possibility of that becomes even higher because we'll have home field advantage. And if we really end up with a record of 11-5 or 12-4, I don't see how we don't win the division.
Yeah, and these first three games are huge for the division. We're all playing division opponents. If we can start out 3-0, I think we take this division. It just depends on how we start. If we lose this first, health and So this first game is huge, and I can't wait to see it, man. I can't wait to see how this plays out.
I think if we can win Friday, that sets the tone for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it sets the tone the other way for the Chiefs, man, because then they got the Eagles next. They could be in a free fall.
Yeah.
Super Bowl hangover. Let's see. Let's see if the league allows that.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun to watch. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be very exciting.
Yeah.
I've been counting on the minutes for Thursday at least. Just get me football.
I know. Yeah, that fix. You need that fix and fantasy too.
Yeah.
But remember to like, subscribe, send us your comments, questions. Fantasy question, Chargers question. Let us know, and bolt up.
Yeah, let's go Chargers.
Go Chargers.